Welcome to Aston Means Business. I'm Steve Dyson, the journalist presenting this regular podcast for Aston Business School. This podcast is focusing on how small businesses, known as SMEs, are coping with the huge economic disruption caused by the coronavirus pandemic. This special series is called Aston Means Business, SMEs Dealing with COVID-19. We've been speaking to businesses who are taking part or who've previously taken part in Aston Centre for Growth programmes. We're giving them a voice to discuss their challenges, share their experiences and explain how they're coping with the crisis. We've also been talking to some of Aston Business School's top academics and other experts, getting their valuable insight, analysis and advice for SMEs. Please bear with us as all recordings are carried out remotely, online, to make sure we conform to the government's current stay-at-home advice. Now, in today's episode, we're going to find out how one business is dealing with an upturn in certain services required during the pandemic. Joining me online now is Latoya Lewis. Latoya is the founder and managing director of Rising Stars Property Solutions, a community interest company based here in Birmingham. Hello to you, Latoya.
Hello, Steve.
Latoya, tell me a bit more about Rising Stars. How and when was the company formed? What do you do and what's its unique features?
Rising Stars Property Solutions was formed in June 2014 as a community interest company, and we're set up to provide work experience, training and employment opportunities to disadvantaged groups. We do this by providing a cleaning, clearance, gardening and construction service to mainly local authorities and housing associations. What makes us unique is that we are the only social enterprise in our field. We are very professional in our approach to our work. We don't put the fact that we're a social enterprise at the forefront of our work. It's almost a bonus. So we're as good as our competitors, which are all private. And I think that makes us unique because they know we're a social enterprise, but we don't necessarily push it down to people's throats.
I get you, Latoya. And just to help our listeners get a picture of what you're doing and who you're working with, when you say disadvantaged groups, just give me a few examples of where your workers are from.
So we've had workers, the company's been open for such a long time, we've had so many different projects going on. We have a project at the moment, it's a lone parents project, and we have people that are lone parents and can't necessarily afford to put their children in after school clubs. So they start work at 9:30 and finish at 2:30. And that's with some of our clients that require cleaning. And they come, they learn the necessary skills and they get employment afterwards. It takes them out of the non-employment sector and it actually increases their well-being, their health, their career prospects. They don't always stay with us, they move on, but they sometimes do stay with us as well.
And in terms of your staffing at the moment, how many staff do you have at Rising Stars and what sort of turnover do you have each year?
So we've got 13 members of staff at the moment. I say at the moment because we've got quite a few people off. And we are always growing as well. So it goes up and it goes down. Our turnover was say roughly £250,000.
Wow, sounds great. And with the current COVID-19 pandemic, how's that affected Rising Stars?
Yes, it's affected us good and bad. And I'll start on the good because it's better to be positive. But as the pandemic started about, say, 4 or 5 weeks ago now, everybody increased their cleaning hours. So it started gradual. Can we have another clean? And then it's got to the point now where people are having cleans every day, where they used to only have one a week.
Wow.
Yes, so that's increased. We've had to find, I'd say, different sort of staff, because quite a few of our staff are men. And I'm not to say that men don't clean, but our staff are operatives. So they're used to clearing properties, they're used to dismantling stuff, they're used to, what can I say, gardening. There's quite a vast difference to going in and cleaning to gardening. So we've had to change the way we train our staff and how we look at delivering our service and who we're going to put in that role, shall I say. It's not been easy when we haven't got actually much to pick from as well. Half of the staff are actually off. They're either self-isolating. We've had to furlough them because they're such high risk. Or they actually have got symptoms of COVID-19.
So in terms of your potential revenues, you've had a lot of increased interest in your services, but at the same time, you've had a struggle at the moment because of the pandemic in terms of getting the right staff working in the right places at the right time.
It's been a problem, but it's not an issue yet.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But as we are marketing, it might sound weird. It's a very weird time, but it's also it's an exciting time because I'm excited about the future.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And so you're actually increasing business and you're getting through it at the moment.
Yes, we are. We're trying. I'm trying to stay optimistic. I'm trying to market and get our product out there. Because we do environmental cleans quite often, but it's nothing on the sort of what we do here or what we've been doing. We normally get jobs where we've got to go and clean blood or we've got to do a needle sweep. So the same equipment and all the same cleaning stuff we use is now being tested and is proved to kill COVID-19. So all the housing associations that use us, they're asking, they've got sheltered schemes, so we're going around with spraying everywhere top to bottom, and it keeps killing. So we've got a really powerful niche at the moment, which I'm so excited about. Like, we've got this stuff that kills it, so like, come and get it off us kind of thing.
Oh, wow. So, I was going to ask you how you're rising to the challenge of all the restrictions in place. But before I ask that question, it sounds like because you were going and cleaning places, cleaning blood and needle sweeps anyway, you've got you've almost got the gloves and the protective equipment and the protective clothing already in operation. Is that right?
The beauty of it, yes, we have. We can't get it as easily as what we used to. It's shocking to see how many people are walking around with a face mask. We've got the need to, but if you can imagine, they never used to before. So the increase in demand is proving difficult to us. But we have got all those stuff already, and we are used to using the fogging machine. We are used to mixing the disinfectant. We are used to knowing how to put the clothes on and to strip it back off once we finish the job. It is almost second nature to us, to be honest.
So because of the type of cleaning that you were doing before, because of the type of jobs you were given, you were already dressed for the situation and you have the proper equipment and materials to clean, and so therefore people just want more of it.
They want more of it, and then they want the expertise cleaning stuff. Now, there's one thing cleaning, because cleaning will take away some of the germs, but this stuff eliminates all the bacteria and all the virus and continues to kill. So it's a service we're now saying. So when they say, we've got somebody has been confirmed with coronavirus and we need it cleaned, and I'm saying no, we're giving them the expert advice, and then they say, okay, we need that stuff as well. So it's all about educating people as well. It's not just a clean you need. It's not going to eradicate corona if I just go in there and clean it. It might, but who's to say I don't miss an area? Who's to say I don't have it on my hands or the back of my hands and I go and touch? So,
Latoya, this substance sounds really interesting. What is it that everyone wants? What are you using?
It is a trade secret. However, I am happy. Well, I've got to let my clients know. So I am more than happy to let my clients know.
You're keeping it a secret for this podcast, though?
I've got to keep it a secret because everybody's after it.
Okay, I'll respect that. Good on you.
Thank you.
And in your team members, you say you've got around 13 working with you at the moment.
Yes.
How are they getting on, and how do you keep in touch with them and motivate them?
They're quite okay, to be honest, the ones that we have got here. I think they're enjoying the individual attention that they all get in there. You can focus on them a little bit more, and you get to see a little bit more with half a staff force and half as many jobs. It's not as busy, nowhere near as busy, but it's got busy in other areas, as I say. I've set up a WhatsApp group, so I'm messaging there regularly. We've got a thing called Zoom that we're using, and it's about, I think 7 of us at the moment are on there. There's a few missing off it, but I think those are the ones that are not very well, to be honest. But 10 o'clock each day. We're all on there, we're all talking. We just keep it going. We're only a small company, so we're quite close and fun is one of our values, so we tend to keep it quite light, but also just to remain a level of respect as well across the board. So we're in good spirits.
These are strange days, aren't they? And it's strange days for everyone, including your staff and other businesses. But by the sound of it, if things continue to go well for you, then once the pandemic starts to end, it seems that you've kind of changed the focus of your business, and you might emerge as a healthier business.
Fingers crossed. With all the marketing we're doing, I'm sure we're not going to be forgotten. Put it that way, for this epidemic, and we don't want to be forgotten. We always have had to learn to go in when something's wrong. Rising stars are called, and we normally get in the door through that way, and then, okay, proved your worth, now we'll give you another job. So fingers crossed. People are not blind. They see us on Twitter, they hear us on this podcast, and hopefully we can just come and do them a service like everybody else, but not only do them a service like a private company, do them a service, and other people are gaining as well socially. They've got a job, they've got career opportunities, they've got a reason to even get up and come out. So
I'm really thrilled. I'm really thrilled by what I'm hearing, Latoya, because it sounds like you were a company which took on difficult jobs, whether it was gardening or whether it was difficult cleaning jobs. You took that on, and you used disadvantaged people from different sectors of the society. You used them to tackle those difficult jobs, and now everyone's got these difficult cleaning jobs for you to do, and you're ready to do it. Your staff are out there doing it. It sounds a fabulous story in these dark times. It's nice to have a positive story.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. I actually started the company to do environmental cleans. I didn't actually want to do just general cleaning, but I didn't have an avenue of how to get in there, didn't know where to start. And I just started one day, and now I'm fulfilling my dreams. I love the dirty cleans. I love the germ. I love something. I don't like boring. I like to get my hands dirty. I like the challenge. I like, we was on that program called The Cleaners before.
Oh, yes.
That was us. We love it. We're definitely equipped for the job. There's no job too big or dirty for us.
Latoya Lewis, the founder and managing director of Rising Stars, many thanks for joining us. It's really been great talking to you, and it's been lovely to have a positive business story. I know it's a rising challenge for you to deal with things and to have the right staff, but you are tackling it. You've got new jobs coming in, and you could well end up as one of the growing businesses during this pandemic. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for your time, Steve, and thank you for having me.
No problems. Keep safe.
And yourself.
I'm now going to talk to Paula Whitehouse. Paula is the Associate Dean for Enterprise at Aston Business School, and she's also Director of Aston Centre for Growth. Hello to you, Paula.
Hello, Steve.
Paula, Latoya Lewis, who we both heard just now, she sounds like a fascinating business leader. She's got such energy during what, for so many SMEs, are really challenging times. Where did Aston Centre for Growth find Latoya, and how did she develop during your programme?
Well, actually, Steve, Latoya found us. She had started her business and wanted to upskill herself in leadership and management. And so she applied to one of our programs, which was the Aston Programme for Small Business Growth. As well as applying, she had to go through a kind of interview stage. And when we met her at interview, it just struck us that she had managed to establish quite an impressive business model. And we were impressed by what she'd achieved so far, really, in terms of making it work. Her business is set up as a community interest company, which is a social enterprise. So the profits from the cleaning business are used to provide training and jobs for people who face barriers to employment. And it's not actually easy to make a business model like that work. She has to provide value to both her customers and her beneficiaries. So she's balancing economic and social sustainability. She came to us because she was ambitious to grow. She talked about growing into a regional and then a national company, but she knew that she wanted to learn more about how to manage her finances. She was well aware of the importance of cash and of turning a profit in order to have the benefit she wanted to, but she wanted to learn the next steps, really, and then use those skills to help her decision making. and to help her build a strategy for growing her company. So when she came to us, she did the program 2 years ago. She had a handful of staff. I think she had 5 full-time equivalent people at the beginning of the course. And then we followed up with her 12 months later, and she'd taken on 2 additional full-time people to help with the growth of the business. So we were just really pleased to see that she'd managed to do that.
No, I bet you were. And you used the words ambitious there, and you really do hear the ambition in Latoya's voice. She's got such a lot of energy. Like any business, of course, her Rising Stars business has had to adapt its staffing and services because of COVID-19. But it sounds like Latoya's got something really valuable to market during the pandemic. In short, she talked, as you heard with me, about being equipped to tackle difficult, dirty jobs. She's just so determined to succeed, isn't she? Whatever seems to come.
Yes, indeed. Latoya doesn't take the easy path. She has an absolute passion for cleaning, but for her business as well, and for providing an excellent service. And so she's actually been able to establish this business, which makes a success of filling a niche that not all cleaning companies would be interested in, quite frankly, but also benefiting some of the most marginalised members of society at the same time. So it's great to see that kind of impact is immediate and tangible, because she's providing training and work for people who otherwise find it difficult to get into work. So in order to do this, she's had to be flexible and adaptable. And she already thinks outside the box. As we heard, she gave the example of providing work within school hours for people who have to balance work with childcare. So it's kind of part of her normal thinking to be thinking outside the box like that. So she's continually assessing what's going on. Now, in the current situation, she's responded to what the market needs right now in her sector. It wasn't straightforward. She talked about having to retrain some people, but she's managed to start providing that additional service. And she's in company of many small business owners, really, who just don't have networks of teams around them looking at things for them and advising them on decision making. They just have to get on with it. And that's what she's done.
She's doing a great job from the sound of it. And throughout the interview that we had with her, Latoya talked about how she's marketing all the time. She's constantly pushing what Rising Stars is offering. That is the crucial ingredient for resilience and future success during this period, isn't it?
I agree. Certainly, communication with customers and potential customers is really, really vitally important. And what Latoya has done is identified how her customers' needs have changed, and she's adapted her services accordingly. And actually, the situation we find ourselves in now with coronavirus is that for some sectors, those customer needs have changed, but markets overall will alter, and businesses might find that they're actually resetting their competitive positions as a result of all of this. So yes, indeed, the marketing communications is important, but it's only one actually of the aspects that the small business leader needs to be on top of all of the time. Keeping an eye on the cash flow, managing relationships with customers once you've got them on board. There's the regulation, the health and safety aspects. There's bringing in those incoming inquiries, but actually judging whether you've got the capacity to deliver on those, and if not, how you're going to build that capacity, which is where the retraining came in for Latoya's staff. But also, and really importantly, actually holding on to your vision for the business. When things externally are giving you knocks like this, remember why you started in the first place and actually what you want to achieve. I think in Latoya's case, her mission is very clear. But for many businesses, your purpose and your values aren't things that you talk about all the time, but they do really underpin what you do and the direction you want to go in. And if you're not thinking about them very often, you can get distracted.
Yeah, no, she does provide a really good example of how all those parts of business planning are important to any small business. Of course, any business, especially at times like this, also has to have the positive staffing available for frontline delivery and to inspire confidence in its customers. Leadership, I suppose, is the big factor. And I think we heard how Latoya really drives that with her strength of character. But how can SMEs and their leaders make sure staff are led properly when COVID-19's got so many restrictions on?
Yeah, it's a really, really difficult situation for everybody. And we've all experienced a rapid sort of changing of priorities. It's the leader's role really to make sure that their staff know what the priorities are. It could be that people are being asked to do tasks that are really different from their jobs were before. And for some people, they thrive in conditions where things are changing, but people are all different. And I think for some, the speed of change can be really challenging. So it's so important as a leader that you understand this and that people know why they're being asked to do something different. And you need to be communicating this, but also you need to appreciate how crucial training is. You have to make sure that people are properly equipped with the skills and the knowledge to do what they're being asked to do, if that's different from perhaps what they were expecting in their jobs just a few short weeks ago. So communication's like vital when things are rapidly changing, but it's easy to let it slip because things move so fast. And I was pleased to hear about Latoya's 10 o'clock call every day. Just having a regular check-in like that is really important to make sure that you are doing it regularly. But it's not just about telling people what's going on. It should be two-way communication. You have to listen to your employees and be sensitive to when they're finding things difficult, and provide support where you can, or signposting to support if it's not something that you can do in-house.
Yeah, really important stuff, that communications. Aston Centre for Growth, Paula, it's dealt with hundreds of businesses over the years. And this podcast series, as we know, is hopefully giving them a voice to share their experiences during COVID-19. But how else is the Centre, the Aston Centre for Growth, how else is it helping small businesses during this challenging period? And how can they get in touch with you if they need to?
This has been a big shock. Businesses have experienced this shock, and their priority has had to turn immediately to near-term survival, really. The kind of impact we've seen in our network has manifested itself in different ways. A drop in orders, changing customer needs overnight, or in fact the inability to trade because of the lockdown. So in terms of the Centre for Growth, businesses that were currently on our programmes have seen a pause in the workshop activity around growth and productivity, because for many that's actually not where their attention had to be at the moment. Those who are having one-to-one support, which goes along with our programmes, have continued that, but we've asked that for the people working with them to tailor that really to the difficulties that they're facing right now. So it's kind of suited for the circumstances they're in at the moment. We need to be supporting businesses with cash flow forecasting, communications with customers, managing teams remotely, and also navigating the different government financial measures. They're not necessarily straightforward, and our conversations have highlighted that there's actually no standard business in our network. They all need to be interpreting the support for their own situation and have needed to help with that as well. I think one thing that's really important is that you can feel quite on your own when you're running a business. Having the support of other entrepreneurs around you who might have experienced similar challenges is actually hugely valuable. And what I've seen is that groups of business owners that we put together into groups when they were on programmes with the Centre for Growth have actually reconnected with each other over things like WhatsApp groups. And they're talking about what they're going through now and actually trying to help each other where they can, which is brilliant. Some of them, thoughts are turning now to longer term planning again, understanding what the landscape will look like in a few weeks or a few months. And the tools and techniques that people on our leadership and management courses have learned about will be essential now in helping them to think about strategies for the future. So we're thinking about making sure that those resources are at their fingertips to enable people to sort of refresh their memory about what we've done and put those things into play again for their businesses. But I think also we've got a role in helping policymakers to understand the challenges faced by small businesses. What we've learned from working with over 1,000 entrepreneurs in our networks is that no two are the same. You have to listen to what people are actually going through to be able to provide what's relevant for them. And I think we have a role with that. We're sending out weekly communications and more frequently actually to people in our network and asking them to get in touch with us by email, centreforgrowth@aston.ac.uk, or through social media. And it's really, really important for us to actually hear what people are going through and to listen to them at this time.
It's great to hear what Aston Centre for Growth is doing for all the businesses you're connected with, Paula. And Paula, many thanks for joining us on this episode.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks also to Latoya Lewis of Rising Stars Property Solutions for joining us earlier. What both she and Paula Whitehouse, the director of the Aston Centre for Growth, had to say about energy, motivation and leadership is hopefully something SMEs will find useful. We'll be back in the next few days with more case studies on how businesses are coping and with more crucial analysis and advice from academics and experts here at Aston. Aston means business. SMEs dealing with COVID-19. Thanks for listening.